As we finish lesson 5.5, the last part that we did not get to was writing a repeating decimal as a fraction. Now, I kind of talked about the 4 steps that you have to do to solve this. And what we want to take a look at is how do you do it? So if you're given, and the problem says you have at least 2 of these on your test, write 0.54 as a fraction. The first thing that I mentioned is let's let x be equal to that. But instead of it just writing as 0.54, we're going to write it equal to 0.5454, and then we put the dots. Then it says the number has, in this case we notice, 2 repeating decimals. So what do we have to do? We need to multiply by 10 to the second. Notice, remember I told you in your notes, 10 to what power? 10 to the second, which equals 100. So we're going to start the problem with x equals, we know this, and then we're going to have 100x is now equal. And you're going to take this equation right here, the x, and you multiply it by 100, so we get 100x. And you're also going to take this 0.54, and we actually will kind of use the second one, and we multiply by 100, so we get 54.5454. So what's nice about this is that now we're going to write our 100x. So when you write your notes, we're going to put down 100x is equal to 54.5454, and then you can put that it repeats, minus our x. What was x? It was our original problem, 0.5454, and now we're going to subtract. Now what is nice is you notice as you start subtracting, is that these are going to cancel and give us zeros until we just get 54. And 100 minus, this is 1x, so 100 minus 1 gives us 99. At this point, to solve for x, you know how to do that. We're going to divide both sides by 99. Now this one works out rather nicely. X is going to be equal to 54 over 99. We want to think, can we subtract 54 and 99? And if you think of the numbers 5 and 4, 5 and 4 add to 9, which means it's divisible by 3. And in this case, 54 actually might have recognized was divisible by 9. So we're going to divide them both by 9. 54 divided by 9 gives us 6. 99 divided by 9 gives us 11. So the repeating decimal 0.54 is equal to 6/11ths. We are going to do a couple more problems that are similar to this. And when you get your worksheet in class, you're going to see these problems on that worksheet. And when you look at it, the first one starts out, and I'm going to ask you to convert. And if you want to either do this on the last page of the notes where it's blank, or even on a separate sheet, if I want to convert 1.26, and the only thing repeating here is the 6, and I want to convert it to a fraction. Now, if I am doing this, the key thing is, remember, since I only have one number that repeats, I want to think 1.2 with the 6 repeating. One number repeats, so 10 to the first, I'm going to multiply it by 10. So if I'm looking at this, and this is when I'm thinking that, the first thing that I want to start off is that if my f, in this case my fraction, is equal, if my fraction equals 1.26, so if that is equal to f, then I'm going to take it times 10, so that I get 10x equals, I'm going to multiply this by 10, that means move the decimal over, and I end up with 12.666 repeating. I'm going to subtract, remember, our original f, or in this case, excuse me, not x, was f. Our original fraction was equal to 1.2666. So remember, this is 1f, and I'm going to subtract, just like I'm going to subtract on this side. So 10f, when I subtract that, gives me minus 1f, gives me 9f. I'm now going to subtract my 0.6's up until this point. So 12 minus 1 gives us 11. 6 minus 2 gives us 0.4. Now, a lot of you are going, oh, that's nice. It's 11.4 over 9. You can never have a decimal in a fraction. There can be no decimals in a fraction. Mathematicians don't like that. And you are, my friends, are mathematicians. So no decimals in a fraction. So if I can't have a decimal here, I want to think, well, what would I multiply by in both the numerator and denominator so that I don't have a decimal? And if I multiply this by 10, I will now get 114 divided by 90. This fraction can actually be simplified. Now that I have it written as a fraction with no decimal, I'm going to divide both by 2. And if I divide 114 by 2, I get 59. And 90 divided by 2 gives me 45. So the question is, what is 1.26 repeating equal to? My answer, 1.26 repeating is going to be equal to the fraction, in this case, 59 over 45. Now, if you would like to write that as a mixed number, you could. 59 minus 45 gives us 1, and if we are looking at that solution, 44/45. I would take your answer simply as this improper fraction or this way. We're going to try one more as we are looking at this. So as we try the next one, what I want you to be thinking about again is, as I'm going to do this in my homework, what repeats and how many numbers repeat. So again, we're going to do one more example. If you want to call this one example 2 or example, in this case it probably is 3 since we did the first one. The second, this would be our example 3. This time what I want you to think about is we want to convert, and kind of like that very first one that we did, this time we want to convert 0 point, and I have two numbers that repeat, 0.64. And I want to write that as a fraction. So if I'm going to convert this repeating decimal as a fraction, the first thing I want to think about is, okay, 0.64 that repeats is going to equal to f. Why f? Stands for fraction. How many numbers repeat? Well, we have 2 of them. That means I have to multiply by 10 to a power, and 10 to the second power is actually 100. So if I multiply by 100, my new equation is going to be, I'm going to start it out, and I'm going to have 64.6464 repeating is equal to 100f. What was my original fraction? F was equal to, remember, 0.6464 repeating. I'm going to subtract these two. As I do the subtraction, 100 minus 1 gives me 99f. 64 repeating leaves me with 64. How do I solve for f? Well, my coefficient of f is 99. That means I need to divide by 99. So what is my original fraction? 0.64 repeating is actually equal to 64 over 99. Can I simplify that? Well, this is an even number. This is odd. I don't think there's anything that you can simplify. You're going to see these 2 examples on the worksheet that you're getting. You will then be working on the rest of the worksheet in class, and hopefully that will make more sense to you after we practice this. See you tomorrow.